pẹ̀lú olódodo láti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ àṣìparí pẹ̀lú olódodo lágbára lọ́wọ́. Ọlọ́run ọba àtàwọn tó wá láti jẹ àtàwọn tó wá láti ìlú nítòsí gbogbo apárápátá ẹ̀rín àtayọ̀ ní gbogbo ọba délé wa. Àfẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ọlọ́run ọba ó dúró tì wá, ọlọ́run ọba wá ṣe, ọlọ́run ọba kó jẹ́ kí orí bá ń ṣe fẹ́ ọlá ẹ̀nà àtẹ̀yìn.
Kábíyèsí ní àtẹ̀wọ́ tuntun lọ́wọ́ wa. Nígbà tí kábíyèsí ti declare program yẹn ó mọ̀, I will now invite the national president of Offa, Descendant Union of North America, Babawa Dr. Abdulkadir Adegboyega, láti wá fún wa ní welcome address. The national president, please.
Your Royal Highness Ọba Mufutaro Olóyèdè Gbàdámọ́sí Òkìkíọlá Ìṣúwọ̀lé II, Ọlọ́fà of Offa, the former chairman of our local government, Chief Sefiu Alao, chairperson of this occasion, distinguished special guests, friends, and patrons of ODUNA. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this august occasion. I'm particularly delighted to have His Royal Highness and His distinguished entourage all the way from Nigeria to grace this occasion. Your presence here is a testimony to your relentless support for all efforts that will bring progress and prosperity to all the indigenous of Offa and to Offa town. We gather here tonight to once again celebrate with each other the love and bond we share with our hometown of Offa, and to remember and help other members of our community and the surrounding towns who are less privileged. For years, Offa has been well known for providing some of the best schools in Nigeria. Many of Nigeria's past leaders, including former President Obasanjo, were products of our school system. These schools were set up and nurtured by our communities through its illustrious sons and daughters at home and abroad. We have always been proud of these achievements. Just as in many parts of Nigeria, the educational standard in Offa has fallen to a dismal low. Particularly disturbing is the turn of events in recent time. It is disheartening to learn that some of our great schools now have a pass rate of 5% or less in the final high school examination. Our effort tonight is a modest but vital attempt to address this problem. ODUNA is a non-profit community-based association. One of the main objectives of the organization is to assist developmental endeavors in Offa and its environment. This association has been awarding scholarships to high school students in Offa for the past 10 years. In view of the decline in the educational standard in Offa, we have decided to extend this scholarship to more students and to start university-based scholarship. The fundraising tonight is to meet this goal. I'm therefore appealing to everybody here to support this cause by donating generously. In this global village, it really takes a village to raise a child. No amount is too small. $100 will sponsor a child for a year in high school, and $1,000 will sponsor a child for a year in the university. Your donation is tax deductible, and we will officially acknowledge it. Please make your check payable to ODUNA. We also accept checks and cash. I encourage you to enjoy the good food provided and have fun with our live musician. While you do this, do not forget why we are here. Donation continues till the end of the event and beyond this night. God will bless you and reward you in multiple for whatever you do it. Finally, I wish to congratulate ODUNA members in Texas for organizing a successful convention, and I thank them for accepting to host this convention again this year. Your effort and contribution to this organization is well appreciated. I'm profoundly appreciative of the presence of our Royal Highness, the Offa of Offa. I thank him for all his effort to bring unity, focus, and progress to Offa. We pray that your reign will promote peace and bring progress and development to Offa. I thank all ODUNA members who have sacrificed so much to be here tonight. May God continue to bless you. I also wish to thank our entire guests here tonight. We appreciate your support and we do not take you for granted. Long live Offa, long live Nigeria, and long live the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ ní kúkúrú ni wípé níta torí ẹ̀pẹ̀jọ bí kí òṣìṣẹ́ kan jẹun nìkan, ṣùgbọ́n káwọn ti lé torí ìlú Ọ̀fà yẹn ni a ti jáde wá. Àwọn kan wà níbẹ̀ tí wọ́n ní ìrànlọ́wọ́ wa bí àwọn ọmọ school bí cat hospital ṣe. Kò ṣe pé ìjọba ò kì í ṣe, kò dẹ̀ ṣe pé kábíyèsí náà kì í gbìyànjú, ṣùgbọ́n ibi tí èèyàn bá ti jáde odò gbọ́dọ̀ gbàgbé orísun ẹ̀. Ìdílé ìta alágbára tọwọ́ bá kò lé mi torí pé wíwà peter wa bí lé mi kò ń ṣe agbára wa. Ohun àwọn ẹ̀tọ́ ọdún wáwọ̀ tó ń ṣe àgbẹ̀dẹ àfihàn wọn bó ṣe wọ Ọlọ́run ló ṣe tó nǹkan. Nítorí ìdí èyí tí àwọn bá lọ́mọ méjì bá sọ pé lóyìnbó dá ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ òfẹ́ wálé, ẹ̀rọ omi tó dáa mú, ẹ̀rí security tó dáa, Nàìjíríà lóde máa dáa. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ran àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tó wà ní yẹn lọ́wọ́ kí àwọn náà kí wọ́n lè gòkè. Ọlọ́run á bó sí àpò gbogbo wa. Ẹ̀rí pé kábíyèsí tí wọ́n wà níkàlẹ̀ ìtọ́lọ́run táwọn máa jẹ Ọlọ́run ti ṣe, Ọlọ́run ní dáwọ́ orí ẹ̀ dúró, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n fẹ́ kí ọmọdé kó gòkè. Tẹ bá wá Nàìjíríà mọ̀ pé 30 hours láti Nàìjíríà lè bí kò ṣe kéde. Ẹ̀mí àti fẹ́ ìfọ́ pàápàá bí o ti pé ìjà lọ tó jábọ̀, ṣùgbọ́n àmì nípìn náà lágbára Ọlọ́run. Kábíyèsí ní ìfẹ́ ìlú ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe wà ní kálẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin náà tẹ̀lé wà bí tẹ fi àtọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ lálẹ́ yìí, ẹ ní ìfẹ́ ìlú yìí ni lágbára Ọlọ́run. Orúkọ yóò ní bàjẹ́, ayé yóò ní bàjẹ́, ayé ọmọ yóò ní bàjẹ́. Ẹ ran àwọn ọmọ yìí lọ́wọ́ kálẹ̀ nípa yín pé ẹ ṣe èyí tí ẹ lè ṣe. Máa pé bàbá wa tí wọ́n jẹ́ guest speaker wa ní alẹ́ yìí, òsọ ilé àárọ̀ yìí. Bàbá wa Professor Sefiu Alao láti wá bá wa sọ ọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ bá mi fún ọ ní àtẹ́wọ́ tó lọ́wọ́.
Thank you for the great introduction you have earlier. I met Kabiyesi earlier, and I want to say, Kabiyesi, welcome to US of A again. I've heard so much about you, and I want to express my personal appreciation of the work you've been doing with this group. So thank you very much. Moving from Kabiyesi, I will thank the chairman of our local government, who is also here. When I was called a few weeks ago to deliver a speech, I took it differently, since I am pretty much familiar with presenting at academic gatherings. I took it for something different, so I must really confess to you that my preparation was quite different from what I actually got when I got here. But I was warned. I was warned by Dr. Abdul Kadri, so I want to thank him very much for warning me, for letting me know that I will not be talking in an academic gathering. I will be talking to a group of individuals who are so much concerned about their hometown, the need to support the hometown. So I want to thank Dr. Kadri, as well as I have so many sisters, as well as another adopted sister I had, Alhaji Lola. So thank you again. Please give them a round of applause for. They were so persistent, and they convinced me that the best place I need to be tonight was Houston, as I already prepared to be at Toronto, so I could break bread with my fellow Lagosians. So I detoured my plans and came here. I came here because I've been engaged in most of my life. I've been in Chicago for 42 years. In most of my life, I've been engaged in this kind of work. So this was not a big deal to me. But what is a big deal to me is the fact that you have a group of people supporting their hometown. Now, so let me go straight to some of the things I need to do. But before I do so, for all of you who are fathers, I was asked to deliver this on the 16th, but it's the 17th now, so it's Father's Day. Could you all please give all the fathers a round of applause? Now, Dr. Abdul Qadri was careful in asking me to talk about education because he thought that that could have been the only reason I would have come anyway. And I was so excited, I said I will come and talk about education. So, I thought that what will I say about education? I know that people of Offa, they know for sure how important education is to our youth. I happen to be a schoolmate of some of our descendants when I was at Mother Boys High School in Lagos. So I knew that they know of the importance of education. I also know that I had some friends in Chicago. I never knew at the beginning though they were from Offa. I had some friends who was in the midst of struggle with me. So bear me out, for those of you who probably do not know my background, many of you will know that the core of the struggle for liberation of Nigeria since Nadeco time was actually in Chicago, if you don't know that. I mean, most of the strategies that were part of Nadeco. I'm quite sure all of you are familiar with Nadeco, right? Did I hear yes? Okay. So part of that struggle was actually based in Chicago. I was the chairman of the Chicago Coalition for Democracy in Nigeria. And I was the person that was responsible for ensuring that we secure some $42 million worth of equipment to take to Nigeria to help somehow beef up the medical care system. I was also the person responsible for signing the pair of glasses that many of you probably remember. They call it Jigibola. Some of you remember that. Some of you do. So I was the chairman. But one thing that became more apparent to me as I started to think about coming here was that among all of us that were doing their work, there were so many people from Offa there, but I never knew they were from Offa because they never said they were. I mean, we acted the same way, we talked the same way, we did the same, we felt the same thing. But now that I know that they are from Offa, I bet you I will never wrestle with them. If any opposition comes, I will never wrestle with them because I know I'll be beaten up so badly. So I see education more so within the context of what we do to support Nigeria, within the context of what we do to support Offa. I'm not that concerned about how we educate our children, those of us who are here. And I'm very much concerned, and the President actually alluded to this earlier, about how we educate our children back home. Only about 5 to 8% actually end up passing the school certificate. It wasn't so. I know when I was at MBHS, and I would hear some of my fellows who came from, we would have some 82%, 85%. Well, at MBHS we only had 100%. That's an exaggeration, by the way. But I think it was close to 100%. Offa was always at that high level, but to have 5 to 8% this time, I think it's abnormal. And I want to thank Kabirsi for what I understood that he's been helping to uplift the school children to the extent that they will have a better understanding of what education is all about. But have a convergence of problems. One problem is what I just mentioned earlier. The other problem is the kind of skills that our children acquire in the educational process. So even though fewer of our children are getting educated back home, and more of them who are here are getting more educated, but the skills we acquire are never translated to the extent that they will be able to support Nigeria, or even support Offa for that matter. So the challenge that I have for all of you, and I'm not immune to this particular challenge, is to spend some time to educate our children so that they have to understand where we are and where we were before, so that they will be able to not only attempt to improve some of the infrastructure. Many of you will agree with me, the infrastructure that we had when we were all growing up back home was much, much better than what it is now. So we need to find some ways to convince our children, those children that are being raised here. Now, you may be looking at me like, what's this guy talking about? I bet you, I hope you are, all of you are still alive 20, 25 years today. If we don't do anything, our children will never want to go to Nigeria. I'm telling you. But they don't hear any good news about us. But it's really the onus of responsibilities on us to find some way whereby we can convince them that it was not always like that, and that they could do many things to improve. I am the one between you and your sumptuous meal. I haven't had a meal myself in the past 9 hours, so I need to eat some food. So I'm not going to talk too long, but I had a prepared speech which I'm not able to deliver, but it's more academic, but I didn't have a PowerPoint to present it. But I wanted to lay some points in terms of what you might want to think about Nigeria. Besides the education that I told you earlier, I need to remember certain things. And many of my brothers and sisters here may not even agree with me. That as we are now in Nigeria, we are 36 states. It's not viable. We are not doing what we need to do to make sure that we have viable Nigeria. That somehow along the line, you guys may want to think with some of us who also are thinking that if we continue in the present condition, we're never going to survive. The only way we will survive is to find some ways whereby some of these states could be reintegrated. Some people have suggested 6 zonal areas. Some people have suggested fewer than 6 zonal areas, but I think 6 zonal areas might be even the midway. But think about it. You probably will be hearing more about this in the future. I just thought that as you help Offa, you also must be thinking that Offa is not isolated. Offa is part of Nigeria, and we all depend on each other. So that's the end of my speech. I'm not going to go any further. I hope you remember a few things that I mentioned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mi ò ní túmọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ wọn torí wọn ò fi taratara góyìnbó jù mí lọ náà. Èmi náà kàwé tó pọ̀ mi ò lè proud mi tí n bá sọ àwọn oyè tí mo ti jẹ ní OGTV NTA pé ó pọ̀ wájú orúkọ wọn. Lágbára náà orí yóò ní dàrú sáà. Gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ dápẹ́ lómi ni torí bá tí mo wà sukùl mo jíwèé wó dànù. Ẹ̀wọ̀n gbogbo táwọn sọ wọ́n kàn sọ lórí ni wọ́n lọ́ọ́ ṣe fún wọn ní lágbára lórí náà ní gbóná. Kábíyèsí. Ibi tí a lọ ọ̀làdé yìí ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run kò sáré mo fẹ́ lọ tọ̀ o. Tẹ bá ní Nàìjíríà tó láti kó donation báyìí ẹ̀ka máa ní excuse me kò rí sí ìfúkọ́lù àwọn olùlọ nìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ṣùgbọ́n tí à ń torí ẹ̀ ṣe lénìí on a more serious note ẹnikẹ́ni tí wọ́n bá nípa láti ṣe ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún òun náà ní ẹnì kejì ẹ̀. Kò ṣe wípé a fọ́ọ̀sì ẹ̀ láti torí ètò owó lénìí. Ṣùgbọ́n tí o bá fún wa, a fẹ́ kó o fi tọkàntọkàn kó o fi yọ̀dẹ̀ kí n tá a fẹ́ ṣe kọ́lọ́ lè fi àṣẹ sí ni àfẹ́ owó kókó lọ ká kókó kárùn lọ́wọ́ àfẹ́ kéèyàn fi dọ́là kó fi para kó fi ṣépè kó wá ní ẹgbà àfẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n kó wò wípé ibi tẹ́mi dé lónìí kò ń ṣe 2 + 2 ló jẹ́ kó jẹ́ 4 ó kàn wọ ọlọ́run ọba ló gbé mi débẹ̀ ni ẹni tí ó kàwé ara wà ní wa tó wà l'Amẹ́ríkà ó jọ mi lójú o nígbà tí pòfẹ́sọ̀ mi wà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ṣẹ́gbọ́nà ló ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹni tí ò ní ọpọlọ tí ò bàbá wò Your Majesty sir nígbà táwà ní kékeré ẹnìkan wà ọlọ́run bá ṣe fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan ló ṣe máa ṣe ẹnìkan mẹ́ta nìyá wọn bí ẹ̀gbọ́n wà ní London àbúrò àtẹni tí wọ́n bí tẹ̀lé wà Nàìjíríà ìtọ́wà láàrin inú wọn yẹn ó mọ̀wé gan very very responsible ṣẹwárí ìjọ gbígbẹ̀yìn yẹn ọmọ kọ́ọ̀tì ni ó burú gan lé fọ́gò jẹrẹ ẹlẹ́ran tẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bá ti wá lé fọ́lídé wọ́n máa rojú àbúrò tù yẹ pé wà àbúrò yẹn ó ti fọ́ ògbó kíní kan ẹ̀gbọ́n ṣáà ń pa ilé ẹjọ́ nígbà tó di following year tẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó máa wálé ẹjọ́ mìíràn tó kó lẹ́pẹ́ àbúrò tó ti rẹ́pù o ìwọ ò ṣe fi ìwà jọ ẹgbẹ́ tí ó bí tẹ̀lé mi tó ń kàwé tiẹ̀ jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́ ó fẹ́ forúkọ family jáde tó bá di next month mo mọ̀ lọ sí London ẹ wo ọ̀nà tí tọ́ọ̀kì bá di London torí pé àkọọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀dá ó ti dúró ṣùgbọ́n bá tó dé London ó yí padà ilé epo tó ń kọ́ Nàìjíríà ẹgbẹ́ tó responsible bá mójútó so lágbára Ọlọ́run ọ̀nà tí wọ́n máa gbà sórí Ọlọ́run ní block rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run fún wa ní opportunity láti wà mí lónìí àwọn táwa náà ń sọ̀rọ̀ wájú yín àlọ́pàá máa rí báyìí ààrẹ tí jẹ́ kankan kọ́lọ́jọ́ gbọ́ jẹ́ kankan ẹjọ́ ẹ ràn ọmọlàkejì yín lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run fẹ́ onínú dídùn ọlọ́rẹ̀ ọ̀nà mẹ́ta la máa gba donation yẹn àwọn tó wà ní high table wọ́n máa ràn wá lọ́wọ́ àgbà ṣẹ́ẹ̀kì àgbà promise.